Hey everyone, Black 6 from BZPower here, coming at you with another LEGO set review. LEGO was kind enough to send BZPower some of the Minions, the Rise of Gru sets that were delayed from 2020 due to the film, The Rise of Gru, also being delayed. Currently, that movie is scheduled to come out on July 1st, and this set and a couple others should be on store shelves on April 26th. So what we've got here is 75546 Minions in Gru's Lab, which will retail for $20 and contains 87 pieces. That does not sound like a lot, obviously, but as we can see here in the bottom left, this is a 4+ set. So similar to some of those Star Wars sets we looked at earlier this year, this is kind of meant for younger kids. So I'm sure, as we'll see when we open it, there's going to be a lot of larger, more specialized parts. I would be surprised if any of those designs we see here are stickers. I would assume they're all going to be printed, so that is going to rise, make the cost rise up a bit. So on the front of the box, we see the set, we see that 4+ logo. We've got a couple Minions on there. We can see the set contains Otto and Kevin. On the top, we do have some cool design work there with some blueprint-looking designs, in addition to a 1:1 scale image of one of the Minions. On the back, again, because this is a 4 and up set, we can see that this is a learn to build. If you look at that, you can see that there's a large, I'm not sure if that is teal or another shade of blue. We'll find out when we open it. But like a large specialty base plate that the set is kind of built on top of. And then we can see some of the little parts in there. We do get a cool little roller coaster track. I think this is actually, it might be my first time getting a piece of roller coaster track. So that's kind of cool for me. But yeah, so let's open this set up and see what we've got on the inside. All right, well, there's the base plate, one bag, oh, 2 bags of parts. Pretty impressive there. All right, so we have got our instruction manual. Nothing surprising there. We've got our piece of roller coaster track. We've got a cute little slide piece in orange. And no, this base plate is not in teal. It's one of the azure shades. I forget which one it is offhand, but not teal, unfortunately. But it is an interesting piece. It is 2 plates high, but it has some notches in it on 3 sides. And on the back here actually has a notch out. So if you were to have multiple ones of these, you could easily connect them together to create a large 2-plate thick base. And there are some studs missing in a couple of spots, which I guess presents some interesting connection points. Could also potentially limit some stuff as well, depending on what you're trying to do with it. And then we've got this number 2 bag and a number 1 bag. Not many parts in each one, obviously, because there's only 87 total. So let's open it up and see what we've got inside. All right, so here are the pieces from our 2 bags. Not a lot that's super exciting other than the specialized Minions parts. As I surmise, there are no stickers in this set, so you can see that this tan or brick yellow wall panel is printed with Gru's lair, do not enter, and it's got a couple Minions on it. I assume this is looks like a washing machine with a couple Minions trapped in there. It's kind of a fun little print. I'm sure people will come up with some fun uses for that. We also have this 2x2 45-degree slope control panel, but that print is pretty common and used elsewhere. And then we also have the parts for Otto. So he actually comes in several parts there. So he's got the top of his head, the body, and then we have the eye tiles, 1x1 round tiles there. Different from our Mixel eyes. They're on a gray tile piece to kind of capture the goggles. And then we have the arms, which are actually, oh, okay, yeah, I did not notice that at first. I thought they were like the troll arms from the Elves line, but they actually use a normal minifigure hand, and then a Technic pin and like a minifigure arm. So that's kind of interesting, nice and different, gives them another degree of movement and some posability. So it's kind of interesting. We'll take a closer look at that when we build them. Other than that, though, there wasn't a lot here. Some big bricks, some tiles. Do have these nice corner wall panels. Obviously, some bananas. All right, and so moving on to bag 2. Main things that jumped out at me were the Kevin minion pieces here. So different body, different head. Got a little smirk on him there. Nicely printed. Got some nice details there with his little dungarees in his pocket. And then he uses the same arm piece and the same eye piece. This is interesting. I guess it might just be a while since I've got one of these pieces, because back in the day there was no slot in the bottom there. So now there is, and I think they've also redesigned the this part here where I think it can accept like a Technic pin these days. Yeah, and but if you go far enough back, you can put a Technic axle in there as well. So it's kind of an interesting, versatile part there. We've got a little car chassis, grading piece, but nothing that really is too exciting other than the minions and the printed pieces, and obviously the interesting base plate that we saw earlier. Yeah, so with the parts out of the way, let's get building. We're going to be putting up our time-lapse video also on our YouTube channel in a separate one. You'll be able to find a link to that in the description. So let's get to it. Alright, and so here we've got the finished set. Not too long of a build. I think I did it in about under 10 minutes or so, but that's to be expected. It was still a fun little build. Obviously nothing too complicated, pretty much all just studs up building and stacking your bricks and making our little playset here, our Gru's Lab. So first off, we've got our minions, and there are actually some pieces on there I missed when we were showing those off. So there is Otto. He's got this interesting hairpiece, both of them do, and thankfully we get some extra ones. So try to show that off real quick. It's like a little, it's almost like the 1x1 round cupcake piece, but it does look like a little tuft of hair. So I assume that these are specially made for the minion sets. And then Kevin has one. I think this is just a normal plant stem, but in black. And I'm pretty sure you can attach flowers to those little bars on the end. So that's for Kevin. But as far as Otto goes, I dig the expression. He's got some nice printing there. Because the eyes are tiles, you can move them around to kind of give him different expressions if you want. If you want to kind of give him a wonky look, like he slid down the slide a bit too fast. Not a lot of printing on the back, obviously. He's got like the jumpsuit printing there. One thing I've noticed for both of them is their feet. They're kind of large, but they are not quite large enough for their bodies. So I guess yeah, they can fall down pretty easily. I think Otto probably has a better center of gravity than Kevin here, which we'll take a look at. I like his little smirk he's got going on there. His tuft of hair. Similar design printing, but obviously on a smaller base. And there is the back. And because he's kind of taller, he's got a higher center of gravity, he can tip over pretty easily too, and can be a little difficult to stand up. So moving on, we've got our, I guess, little rocket car thing that's supposed to go down the roller coaster track. You can see it's got two 1x2 jumpers in there for the minions to be able to stand on. And there's also the printed control panel 1x2 cheese flip that I missed, but that's not a new print, I'm pretty sure. Cute little build. We'll see how well that works in a second. And we've got a little barricade that we assembled. That's supposed to be blocking off the bottom of the roller coaster ramp. And then finally, we have got the lab itself. So, you know, nothing too fancy here. I did enjoy that at the base of the slide are bananas. So you're kind of sliding into a banana pit there. We got some tools here. We got our printed pieces. The 4x4 disc here is mounted on a flick-fire missile, which comes through the back, so that as you're holding it, you can spin that from behind and make the minions spin around in the washing machine. So that's kind of a cool little effect there. And yeah, that's about it. So we can test out and see how well the little play features work. So we can go ahead and put Kevin in the little roller coaster car here. Make sure his hands are up, otherwise he won't fit. And so yeah, the tire rims here will fit on the roller coaster track. And that was a failed first attempt. I was trying to do that one-handed. All right, let's see if we can do this with two hands. All right, take two. Hey, there we go. Worked pretty well. I think, yeah, the roller coaster track kind of popped off there. It's only attached on the two studs. So you got to be careful about that. And try it again. There we go. Yeah, it works pretty well. Cool little feature. I mean, obviously it would have been nice if there had been a couple more pieces so you could get more height. But obviously if you have your own roller coaster track pieces from other sets in the past, you can add on and modify it. But more likely you're going to be taking the piece from the set and adding it to a previous roller coaster. And obviously we've got the slide here. I'm not sure if Otto here really fits in the slide that well. I guess so. There does not quite enough of a slide to get a good speed going, but you know, it works. They fall in the banana pit, and yep, that's about it. So I guess the ultimate question is, do you want to buy this set or not? You know, like the Star Wars 4+ sets we reviewed earlier this year, this obviously isn't targeted at AFOLs, even TFOLs. You know, it's pretty pricey for the parts, $20 for 87 pieces. You do get some nice prints. If you are a fan of Despicable Me and the Minions franchise, you do get the two Minions here, Kevin and Otto. I'm not sure, I haven't looked too closely at the wider range. I do know that a lot of the Minions appear in different sets, but usually they are slightly different, so they'll have different prints, different torso printing, different facial expressions. So if you're a collector, you probably have to pick this up. I guess at that point it comes out to $10 per Minion. Which could seem like a lot, but I mean, if you are a minifig collector at all, and you've wanted, you know, a Marvel or Star Wars minifig that only appeared in one set, $10 for the minifig isn't the worst you could manage. Yeah, I think a young child in the target range of 4 to 5 years old would probably enjoy this set. If they like Despicable Me and the Minions, they could have lots of fun playing with the little roller coaster and the slide, running around with the Minions and playing with them, driving their parents crazy. Say, hey, let's watch the movie again. So yeah, I think that's probably gonna wrap it up. End of the day, it's got an interesting base plate, but I'm not sure it's worth it for $20. And it's got two Minions figures, so that if you want to collect them, it's a good spot to pick them up for $10 each. Otherwise, you know, it's probably not for us. But if you have any kids in your life, whether they're yours or relatives or friends who are into Despicable Me, this would not a bad set for them. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. We will not be doing a full text review for this set. There's not really quite enough there to justify it based on the response we got to the Star Wars Junior sets earlier this year. So this is it. Hopefully you enjoyed it. We will also have the time-lapse video of the build linked in the description, so you can check that out. And stay tuned, we do have a couple other Minion sets that myself and others will be reviewing, so stay tuned for those on BZPower as well. And until next time, this is going to be Black 6, signing off.